Welcome to episode 388 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Vision Pro, Mac, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and we got our panel here this week. First off, it's Jill McKinley, always here early.
I'm doing great. I'm
glad you're here. How you doing?
It is Friday Eve.
All right. Yes, I am too. Yeah, because it's been a long week. Also here, and glad he's back, good. Chuck Joyner.
Dave,
how you doing, Chuck?
This is not really me. It's my hologram. Yeah.
Is it your hologram? Yeah, as we were talking pre-show. Thanks for being here. Also here, Marty Jencius.
I think if my hologram showed up, there would be no discernible difference. I mean, I think there's really nothing inside here anyways. But I'm doing great. Friday.
Yeah.
Coming tomorrow.
Good. Glad. Yes, it is. Also, glad he's here. Eric Bolden. How you doing, Eric? I can't see you. Oh, you still got your frog behind you there.
Water's getting a little warm. Each day gets a little warmer, but hardly notice it.
Yep. Yeah. And also here, glad he's here as well. Good. Ben Roething. How you doing, Ben?
Holograms here. I just want to try this computer end program.
We're still here.
We're still here. We're still here. And also want to welcome everybody that's in the chat at youtube.com/intouchwithiOS. It's great to see you. Hey, Jim Ray, how you doing in the chat room? I don't know why he said hello, hi Mac Voices, but he must be saying hello to you, Chuck. And Wither Bucket, as well as a couple others in the chat. So glad you're here tonight. But we got some good amount of things to talk about this week. Vision Pro didn't say much about during the announcements the past week, but a few things we talked about this week. We got a beta release this week, as well as some Mac discussions and other topics. But let's go ahead and start off with a little bit of In Touch with Vision Pro this week. Apple did release VisionOS 26.1. I did install it, and it was interesting to see what was done. I didn't notice anything. Any of you guys, Eric or Marty, did notice anything with this since we did Vision Profiles on Monday?
I tried to search for even release notes on it, and I took it as a personal affront that Apple didn't put any release notes on 26.1, the new beta for it, and was going to do a pro note on it and still couldn't find it, and it's not there. So I think Apple is like, yeah, we did it. Don't look behind the curtain. There's nothing there to see.
Yeah, move on. Yeah, no, I originally bookmarked it and it was there, and now it's gone. So that's interesting. Well, we do have an article from 9 to 5 Mac I just found here, but I don't think they say much about it. Yeah, they're just saying just what to expect. There's nothing. So I think we'll just move on. Also, they did release a really cool immersive film that came out. It is coming out. This is Apple's is now going to be working with a new immersive films designed for the Vision Pro, including sports, travel, music, all the stuff. It is the major selling point, but the Tour de Force, the Canal Plus MotoGP is now available through the Apple TV app, and it can be watched with the Vision Pro. Apple retail locations will be providing extended previews starting next month, so you don't have to have a Vision Pro, and you can visit the store to watch it. This is a story that follows the MotoGP rider Jean Jarco, documenting his win at the French Grand Prix in Le Mans in May of 2025, and it was filmed using 4 Blackmagic designs URSA immersed cameras paired with ambionic microphones and spatial audio, and it definitely showed. And I know Eric, you got super excited about this, and what was your enjoyment of this? It was pretty cool.
And long enough, you got the story, you got kind of background, you got the experience. Several different days. It was interesting too because the first day of shots, it was kind of overcast, and you could see that there was an effect on how bright everything was and how sharp everything was, or wasn't as sharp as it could be because there wasn't enough lighting. I think that'll be a problem going forward with sports photography in general. But then the next day it was bright, sunny, different track. Just well done. Nice shots from really good angles. You get to see the setup, a bunch of shots kind of in the in his quarters, getting changed, getting ready for the day, getting prepped. The background stuff you never get to see. And you're like right there, getting the thought process and the prep for the race, and the exciting moments and the planning and things that they were guessing how to set things up, and where it worked and where it didn't work, and kind of a surprise ending. So it had everything.
Yeah, it did. Marty, what did you?
I saw it. I thought it was great. My question, and it's not answered in any of the media, how are they going to bring it into the Apple stores? They say they're going to have an extended version. Does that mean it's going to be shown up on a screen, which really loses some of the impact? Or is this going to be part of the demo where they're going to use it to kind of market and entice people to purchase a Vision Pro headset? I don't know. It's not clear in that. I'm anxious to find that out when it starts.
Yeah, I am too. Are you going to get a bunch of people go do Vision Pro demos? I don't think they want to tie up that many Apple Store employees to doing that. They're just looking at the movie and not interested in purchasing it. But that will be interesting to see what will happen. So. Also, there were a couple other videos, I believe, that were released as well. Besides the Tour de Force, there was the World of Red Bull. That's a new series of immersive experiences that presents Red Bull's sports content in a spatial format. So it's spatial is more as immersive. The first episode was backcountry skiing. Takes users to Revelstoke, British Columbia, following free skiers in the remote slopes. There was a night at the BBC Proms, which is classical music fans experience BBC Proms from the comfort of their homes, as well as journey to Antarctica, finding the emperor penguins and jambalaya. And I didn't see any of these. Did you see any of these videos yet?
Because the Red Bull one is December for the first one, and the second one in 2026.
26.
So I think they're just announcing that this is that whole series coming up.
That's right.
But it's exciting, and it's filmed with the new cameras. It's well done.
Yeah.
There's no sense of sickness. The motion is good on it. I'm excited for all of these.
And in these articles, some of them list actual release dates, and other ones say sometime this fall. So if you kind of put that calendar together in your head, there are some definites that are going to show up according to the article in the Apple press release. There are some definites that have spot times, and then other ones I think are going to be interspersed. So without any right now designated time for release or day for release. So between now and spring, we're going to get 7 new videos.
Absolutely.
Is another way to look at it.
Yeah. I wish it was more, because I think I can't be the only one that just wants more immersive videos, So then finally, I want to just kind of talk a little bit quick. I had a coworker. He came into the office this week because we were working on a project. Shout out to Anderson, and I told him I'd bring my Vision Pro if you wanted to take a look at it. He's like, "Yeah, I really want." He never did the demo before, so he got to actually do the demo with me and set it up. So I just kind of want to give everybody kind of the experience I had. Setting it up in guest mode is like beyond so much easier than it was at the beginning. I mean, it was just literally a matter of me going in and looking at the menu here, pick it up and put it into guest mode, and then say, you can look at everything. So you got 5 minutes to put it on. He put it on. He had it. You still have to go through the motions of getting your eyes set to it and a few steps, but it's not going to do the persona or any of that kind of stuff. So I had him do a little bit of a demo. I picked the Metallica video for him to see the first thing with the immersive video, and he blew him away. And it was really cool. And then I also just put him on showing him how it is to see a virtual Mac display as well. So he was impressed. He said, darn you, Dave, I don't want to buy this thing. So I'm not sure if he's going to, but it was a good experience. I was glad I was able to show it off. And I wish that guest mode was there during MacStock. It would have been so much easier when we were demoing them, because I was having struggled with a lot of people when we were demoing them at MacStock. So, but overall, it was a kind of a cool thing to be able to see here. So, and that's it for In Touch with Vision Pro this week. But beta this week, they did release all the versions of the OS's 26.1. We mentioned Vision Pro, but not much there. There's also iPadOS and macOS Tahoe 26.1. I don't think there is much. I don't know if Ben or anybody that installs the betas, if you've noticed anything. I mean, I think I've got some articles here in the show notes that says everything that was new. I guess they've got some new the Apple Intelligence languages for that they have now with Apple Intelligence. The AirPod Live translation languages we were talking about, they've added a few more, including Japanese, Korean, Italian, and Chinese, both Mandarin and traditional and simplified. The phone keypad now uses liquid glass for the numbers. Oh, you're going to be hearing a lot about that, don't you think, guys? Because a lot of people are not super happy with Vision Pro. What did you think with that? I didn't look at it yet on my 16E.
Honestly, I haven't seen much yet. This is so far as a beta 1. Okay. Unless you're, if you're a primary, I can't talk. If you're from a primarily English speaking country, you're probably not going to see much of a difference so far.
Yeah. So a lot of it, I'm not going to go through all this stuff, but a lot of it's just a couple different improvements. The tab bar on Safari is wider and less padding around it. So it looks like more subtle, minor improvements. So Marty or Eric, did you see anything, or Jill?
I didn't see anything, but let me geek out on the Turkish for a little bit, because I've done lots of travel there.
Okay.
And we have Turkish doctoral students in our program. And I'm ready to demo that with them, particularly the translation stuff that's going on with the AirPods 3. So it's like, oh, finally Turkish. I was surprised that wasn't in the first release, actually, because they have quite a big market there in Turkey for Apple products. So,
yeah. Yeah, and I've talked about this with some folks. Like my wife is teaching kids from Ukraine, and that isn't working just yet. Hopefully they add that. But yeah, it's good to see that there are more languages that are being added in the live translation. But I think they got a bit of ways to go with that. It's so new. They got some of the introductory languages at first, but interesting what they picked. But anybody else have any thoughts about this with the beta? I know, Chuck, you don't dabble in that stuff.
Just that if you get a new phone, you have to do it right away.
So let's go.
Before you go have fun.
Yeah. Just to be aware, right now iOS 26 is not being offered as an option to download right off the bat or install. It's shown as a option. So if you're still on iOS 18, 18.7 is the most current version. So you cannot downgrade once you move over to iOS 26 at this point, as well as they stopped signing 18.6.2. So now downgrading is impossible. So you're not going to be able to do that anymore. So as far as macOS Tahoe, I didn't notice much. Marty or Eric or even Ben, did you notice anything?
Even the same
articles on this, articles on this inspired me to go in and play with settings, which I had some default settings that were there and switched them around and went back to the default settings in terms of the menu glass and transparency and stuff like that. So, if anything, it was good for me to kind of delve deeper into playing around with it.
Okay. One of the things that was noticed in Tahoe 26, macOS 26, there were some key upgrades in live activities are now new in iPhone mirroring. If you're using the iPhone mirroring tool in macOS Tahoe, Apple's continuity features have been a strength of the ecosystem, but now you can now use the iPhone mirroring, and it gets upgraded to bring live activities from your iPhone to the Mac. The way this works is entirely automatic and streamlined. So you have the live activities from your iPhone will start being accessible from the Mac's menu bar, which is kind of cool. As well as being able to click on the live activity menu bar. It expands it to full details. So double clicking, meanwhile, will open the live activities source app on your iPhone in iPhone mirroring. So what you're really seeing here is this is getting a lot more interactive by using iPhone mirroring when you want to demo something. Did any of you guys try this at all? I've not.
No.
Okay, that's part of macOS 26. So, Chuck, have you tried iPhone mirroring? I don't know if you've.
To be honest with you, no, I have not installed macOS 26 yet on my production machine.
Right.
Yeah,
but it was in
I
Sequoia.
Like that part.
That.
I mean, I'm looking forward to some of the enhancements. I do. I look. It sounds crazy because my phone is usually sitting right beside my main monitor, but just the ability to have it right there on the screen. Yeah, I've used that frequently, and now with some of these new capabilities coming, I am looking forward to it. It's just that we joke about me not installing betas. I don't even want to install the first release on my Mac from my production machine. I hear just enough stories that I don't want to have to deal with them.
Yeah. That is true. But other than that, that's pretty much it about Mac this week. Let's talk a little bit about some other topics that was related to all of this with iOS 26. Apple did confirm that it is now having the iOS 26 wallet passport feature that's going to come this year. The digital ID for the iOS 26 feature that's letting the U.S. passport holders add their passports to their wallet app is coming later in 2025. So Apple has updated the release timing and wording of the digital ID on its iOS 26 features page. Digital ID will be coming later this year. And it just basically says with U.S. passports only. It reads prior to today. The footnote was saying in the future it was a feature that might be available in an update. Curiously, Apple did remove the mention of a software update, but in all likelihood, the digital ID probably won't be introduced until maybe 26.1, 26.2. Of course, the first beta is not even showing it with the one. So. Already got driver's license, and there's still a ton of states that haven't updated to that. So, anybody have any thoughts of having your passport in the digital ID?
Sounds like a good idea in theory. That said, most states don't even support their own digital IDs that have them. It's one of those things where,
right?
Yeah, good getting this thing out now, so it can be supported in about 10 to 20 years.
But you would think that if they did the passport, they would have had some sort of acknowledgement from the government that they would accept it in customs, maybe. I mean, why go through the bother of it? And that's, even if I land in here with my passport, people lose passports all the time, so that's nice. But if you go to Minnesota, and let's say Minnesota doesn't accept it, you're in customs first, and that's U.S. government. And so it doesn't matter what Minnesota thinks initially. So it could be cool.
Yeah, right now I see it as a backup. I mean, the article talks about how it can be used instead of carrying it. I have my state issued special Ohio allows me to use it for plane trips domestically, driver's license, but I can also use my passport if I want to. I don't have to carry that with me domestically anymore. I can use that in the wallet, which is fine. And if I travel internationally and I lose my physical passport, it's going to be easier for me to acknowledge my identity and deal with it through the embassies that I am who I am. So officially accepted as, I can travel the world without the booklet? Probably not. But as a backup for traveling with the booklet, the little passport booklet, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And sort of to Jill's point, I hope this kicks some of the states in the backside and gets them into the 21st century, and that includes my home state. It boggles my mind when I see some of these other states implementing these things. And I'm not talking about California, that always seems to be first in so many things, but other states, and it's like, if they can do it, why can't everybody?
Yeah.
So maybe, if, to Jill's point, if the federal government recognizes it and accepts it, then, I mean, other than a driver's license, I think that you can use a passport for boarding planes or just about any other thing that I would use a driver's license for. So now I need it to be a driver's license, but that's all. Otherwise I can just use my phone.
But not returning your cable box to the cable. I'm just kidding.
That's probably true, Joe.
That said, using this technology would require investments at all places a passport would be used. And would also require, other countries to accept it.
Right. You can't just fly with it and then get to Paris and be stuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're buying a lot of screen protectors for every time you enter a new country, and they stamp it.
And you don't get a cool digital stamp.
You're funny.
To say I was, yeah.
Yeah, you always like to collect those stamps in your passport.
Yeah, but
right?
we used to collect concert tickets, and not anymore.
Yeah, I still have my mound of them from probably.
Wow,
40
you're old.
I am old. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Apple Watch experiences. I think a number of us have purchased the Apple Watch from since the release this past Friday. Ben, I saw you post this in social media. That's what kind of inspired me to put this topic in here. What was your thoughts? You said about the screen size feels a lot bigger.
It looks fantastic.
How's it been looking?
It's on the screen. Not really having to squint at all. Everything is nice and big. Everything is legible. It's kind of the device I always wished the Apple Watch would be. Also, from a ergonomic standpoint, from the Series 0 on, I had this little thing where if I flip my wrist up, it would hit the digital crown button. With this one, it is now just out of the way enough where it doesn't do that. That alone for me was worth the money.
I'm just looking.
What'd you get, Ben? What'd you get?
Yeah, it's not doing it.
Series 0. Or not Series 0. I already had that many years ago. Series
Boy,
11.
you're going back 10 years.
Yeah, Series 0 is a sand hourglass that you turn over there.
Yeah. Got the big sandglass here and facing up here.
S lady thought Ceres was her name. Yeah.
So Marty, you got the I got the Ultra 3. I also upgraded to an 11. And for the first couple of days, I was wearing the Ultra 3 and really enjoying it. I've kind of switched over now. My watches are all through one phone of the two phones that I have. So that makes it a little bit more convenient for it. But I've been wearing, since I've had some medical stuff done this week, I have been wearing the watch to bed, which I never typically do, to register sleep information and also register heart information. And I'm getting used to the fact, and this tells you that I never wear my watch to bed or never did, that when it's set for sleep and I want to wake up in the middle of the night and find out what time it is, the whole screen is dulled out and I'm poking at it and trying to make it. So I'm going to continue to wear it to bed, get biometrics on me when I sleep, and have that data. I'm enjoying it. It looks, when it is during the day, it looks a lot brighter, and it's a lot clearer on the screen for me. So,
yeah. But anybody else?
I'm going to get one.
Has a
it is just probably not today. I'm not planning on falling off any mountains until the spring, so I'm going to wait a bit till the lines go down.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I finally made it into the store to actually go peek at one. And yes, holding the Ultra 1 up with the Ultra 3, there's definitely a difference in brightness of the screen.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the Apple Watch Series 11, I agree with you, Ben. I would notice it all the time on my Series 9. I would see the Siri border around on all the time, but I don't, I'm just moving my wrist, and I wouldn't normally move my wrist like this, but you're probably right. The way it lays, it's laying a little higher up, that it's not hitting the digital crown as much that it does it. So, but I agree that the display, it does look bigger. I still have my Series 9. I'm gonna probably should do a comparison just to look at it, and it does seem to work. It'll look a lot better.
It also
a lot clearer, crisper.
It is physically lighter, and you can tell.
Yeah,
it is. I ended up getting the braided loop here, like I've been getting, and it actually feels good. And it's not. I mean, I've only had it for a week, so I'll be waiting. They'll talk to me in about 2 months, and I'll see if it's already stretched out on me, because every single one of these bands, I really love these bands. It's just, they feel good, and they're stretchy, and, they just seem to always just stretch out too much, and then they become too big. So I went down a size smaller just to be safe on it. And it's not, making marks on my arms, my wrist or anything, but more to come on the Apple Watch. I think that Apple's still doing some great things. You got the blood pressure monitoring now that they have available, and some of the other things that we've talked about. So I think it's something that we got to look forward to as things go on here. Couple other things I want to talk a little bit about. There's an interesting comparison on the AirPods Pro 3. I'm trying to remember who all does have the AirPods Pro 3 besides me. It's Marty, you got a pair, and Eric, you already got a pair, and no one else, right? So I this is a good buyer's guide. It's a couple difference of what it has from the AirPods 4 and from 2024, or the AirPods Pro 3. Couple different things. Of course, right off the bat, I could say I definitely feel a difference with the tips, with the foam injection it has now. I mean, it feels like, even because I always keep it in transparency mode when I'm listening most of the time. I really don't put the noise cancellation when I want to just listen to stuff and not feel the surroundings. You almost have to, because if you're talking, it's like it muffles. You know how it is when you can't hear yourself. So I don't do that. But number of the other things that kind of stood out. I mean, again, we talked about live translation. The cool thing about live translation is the AirPods Pro 4, the AirPods 4 support live translation, as well as the AirPods Pro 2 support live translation as well, as far as I understand. I still have my 2. I should try that. But a couple other things it has with the conversation boost. I haven't had that feature. Anybody that had any experience trying that yet? Because it's still too new to have these these AirPods Pro 3 to really experience a lot of this stuff. So really, those are the things that they added as far as the differences: loud sound reduction, hearing protection, hearing test, and hearing aid. Those are all a part of the AirPods Pro 2 as well. So that's why sometimes you kind of have to justify, is the upgrade from the 2 to the 3 on the AirPods Pro, is it worth it? I think it's worth it alone with the tips, because I believe someone did try to put the tips on the 2 and they do not fit.
And the angle's a little bit different. Is I have somebody that hasn't been able to wear any of the other AirPods without pain, and they just gave up. And this one fit perfectly. There were no issues. The noise cancellation was good. The sound was good. I may not get them back.
Yeah. So I think I'm enjoying them. I think they've been a good buy. I mean, I've already seen some discounts on them. I think Amazon was selling them $10 less. So you're going to see a price come down to those kinds of discounts once in a while. So, Chuck, or anybody, or Jill, you said you were going to look and potentially getting a pair.
Yeah, I mean, both the Apple Watch and the AirPods are in my new AirPods are in my future. I just need to determine, when, and I may wait a little while and pick up, some of the just a little bit better pricing with some of the upcoming multiple deal days that different retailers are running. I'd love to make it to Thanksgiving or to Black Friday, but I'm not sure I will.
Right. It's tough. You start hearing us talk about it. We can't talk into a Vision
Pro. Yeah, that's a little more in the budget.
I think AirPods Pro.
About 10th of the price.
I will say that this has neither a positive or a negative. Mm-hmm. From what I've heard of people who have had the AirPods Pro 3, the fit is very different from that of the 2. So there have been people that were not at all comfortable with the 2 that are now very comfortable with the 3. And conversely, as revealed on this week's Connected, Mike Hurley, podcaster of fame on the Apple community, did say he felt very uncomfortable wearing the 3s where he was comfortable wearing the 2s. So it's not, it's not going to be one of those things where they're automatically going to work for everyone.
That's kind of interesting because the 2s have always fit perfectly on me. And so now that, I already have 2s and I don't travel. And so I think I might just stick with what I have since they do fit, because I don't want to get into a place where they don't.
Sure.
I think if you just reshape the inside of your ears, you can make anything fit.
Let me get my screwdriver.
I've noticed what I've had to do is twist them or turn them so they're pointed a little differently than what the 2s are in order to get the seal that I think it's supposed to have. So it's the positioning of the stems that impacted it for me. Generally, if I'm in a working environment, I like to use bone conduction headphones, because I can then pay attention to what's going on in my environment. If I'm recording or doing a podcast, I don't have my ears plugged up because I have things in it, and I don't have that internal empty sound that is really the empty part of my head that's reverberating whatever's coming out of my mouth. So if I'm going to use these, if I'm going to use them in podcasting, I'm probably going to only use one in one ear. So I have the other ear free, but they're going to come in handy for travel, airplanes. I'm interested in this, the conversation enhancement, particularly I'm on planes and I've got it set up where I've got noise reduction on it, and the attendant comes up and asks me what I want. Either I start shouting at them, or they just give up on me because I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's hit on a couple other things here. I should have put this while we were talking about the Apple Watch, but there there was another thing that was discussed is about the Apple Watch, the SE3. And an article here from Mac Rumors saying, this is premium features without the premium price. It's been 3 years since this was finally that they finally upgraded the SE. It's the SE3, and it has a lot of features that were previously reserved to the more expensive models, but Apple didn't change the price at all. And the SE3 supports the always-on display technology, which the 2 lacked. You can now glance at the time and complications without having to wake the watch, which is much more useful. The standard Apple Watch models have had always-on since the Series 5, long overdue for the SE. The Ion X Glass that protects the display is more durable than before and it's more resistant to cracking. It's got the faster S10 processor inside the SE3, which means it's going to work with the double tap, and the wrist flick gestures have been limited to the newer watch models, but double tap is going to be a one-handed interaction. The on-device S Lady does work faster due to the 4-core neutral engine, and plus S Lady on answering health-related queries as well. So temperature sensing, sleep apnea detection, sleep scores are all Apple Watch SE functions that weren't available prior. So, and as well as temperature tracking is used for women's health features and monitoring vitals, while sleep apnea and detecting detection and detecting potential breathing issues at night. So, compared to the more expensive Watch Series 11, the SE lacks the ECG, the blood oxygen sensing, the hypertension notifications. It's limited to a 40 millimeter and 44 millimeter, so the screens are a little smaller. But the SE is also going to support 5G connectivity as well, which was another thing. So really think about it. I mean, for someone that's in the market for an Apple Watch and they don't want to have that high price of a Series 11, because Series 11 starts at $399, the SE starting at $249. So that is a really good deal when it comes to getting somebody into an Apple Watch.
Well, at this point, they should have just called it the Series 11e, because it's
just like
very much like the low end iPhone, where it has most of the features of the big phone. It has all the powers of the power of the big watch, but it's just smaller and at a better price point.
Yeah, I mean, if Apple would stop adding biometric detections for illnesses, I would stop getting sick. But every time they add a new biometric, I wind up getting the disease. So I think, I'm a test subject for these, and then I have to get a new watch. So the SE is great. I think it's great. My wife has I think a earlier model of it, and that's what she uses, and that works for her. Adding all this other stuff in it is just good gravy for people who want to get into the watch and get into some of the biometrics like sleep and the apnea detection. That's going to be big for folks who are entering in with Apple Watches.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other thoughts about the SE?
I'll just throw out what Ben said. I agree with the sentiment, but and I didn't have a chance to look this up, but the SE refresh rate seems to be a lot less frequent than the every year Apple Watch. So they can let the SE sit here for quite a while and have it still be a very viable product, as opposed to dating it, if you will, by calling it an 11. So I'm splitting hairs, but I think there is some method to the madness.
Just glad that they make something that's lower price for people, because not everyone wants everything.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the iPhone 17. The new center stage front camera on all models of the iPhone 17 as well as the iPhone Air, has this 18-megapixel center stage front camera that transforms mobile photography with its square sensor design and intelligent auto adjustment features. Unlike traditional front cameras, the system automatically rotates and zooms to capture the perfect selfie shots. And the square sensor also captures more image area than the rectangular sensor, giving you an unprecedented flexibility in framing composition without sacrificing the image quality. So, really understanding what the auto zoom does is I was trying it out for a little bit. I don't know if anybody else has yet. I'll find out that in a minute here. That it really is a pretty amazing camera. I mean, just to be able to go to this camera, you flip it to selfie, you knew you were just stuck to whatever it is. But by going up to the top here, you can turn the auto zoom and auto rotate off if you don't want to use it. So it's got the menu on top there. But at the bottom, you've got the rotate button. So you tap it, it turns on center stage or turns center stage off. You don't have to flip the camera this way anymore. In fact, they tell you not to when you got it in that mode. So, when I'm looking at myself here, I gotta just follow the camera here. It's it puts it in that mode for it to be centered, and I think that's pretty amazing. You also can make it a larger or smaller. So this camera is just insane because there's so many millions and millions of people love taking selfies and also getting in the picture with you. You're going like this, and hey, look, let's go look here. We gotta take a picture. So this is a pretty amazing technology. Anybody tried it yet since when they got their new phone, Chuck? Or
well, selfies are how people die of bear attacks in the Northwoods. Just so.
Okay,
but at least it's documented as to how they passed on. Yeah. Dave, I'm not a big selfie person, so I have not even looked at this. I do want to comment though on the 18 megapixel front camera, because it wasn't long ago that was touted as one of the back cameras. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really anxious to play a little bit more with the front facing camera for my own use cases. Because I think in some situations, in fact, in many situations, it's going to be good enough for what I want to do with it. But I need to test it out. So, but I was kind of excited over that feature when they announced it. And then the idea that it doesn't matter what your orientation is, you can select the angle, the kind of photo you get, or hopefully video out of it. So,
yeah. Me personally, I'm waiting till next year because this feature's coming to the back cameras.
You would think. I mean,
thought it did.
It's very possible.
It didn't.
I don't know because they're not square.
The back
they're not
camera
specialized square sensors.
Has it?
Oh, okay.
Right, because it's got the sensor. Yeah, because you don't have the option on this, but you do have the. I mean, the one nice thing is having that new menu in iOS 26 that it brings up all the styles on the camera there. It pulls it up on a menu now. It was so much. I mean, how it was to have to dig in to get that. The other thing was nice on the camera is being able to on the fly switch it between JPEG and RAW.
Oh wow!
Very easily. And then the resolution, you can switch it between 24 or 48. So you have a choice between both resolutions if you want. I don't know why you'd want to go 24, although you might, because when you send the photo to somebody, it's 48 megapixel. Then the file size already is about 4 or 5 megabytes. When you take it at 48 megapixels, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure that the file is a little larger when you do that. And the other thing is the format. If you tap format, it only does JPEG and RAW. They have the HEIC format, but you still have to go into the camera mode. And it remembered because I had it set to JPEG because a lot of times you forget and then you have to convert it. And especially when you're working with somebody with a Windows machine. And at my work, we don't have the converter because you have to pay for it. So we just try to tell people, just do it to the most compatible. I've talked about that tip a bunch of times to keep it into that mode. The video is pretty amazing. And same thing, right now you have it so you can go through and change the resolution from 4K to HD, as well as you can go from 24, 30, or 60 frames a second. Crazy. And I don't know. I haven't tried any of the videos just yet, but I can just imagine what the size of these videos are going to be as well. And you go from a 1x to an 8x zoom right off the back on the fly. And so anxious to see this. Already, I took some close-up pictures of some things and sent it off to family members, and I already got a comment. Man, that picture looks pretty amazing. Because I'll admit it was. I was showing everybody because if you know, Oreos just came out with those ones with the Reese's peanut butter it's in them, so I wanted to show them. Hey, this is on. We got these to try them, and then I took a picture of the box, and then you zoom on it. I mean, a lot of times it pixelates pretty quickly once you zoom it really close. It was flawless. I mean, I'm just thoroughly impressed with this camera, and I want to do more. I mean, I'm ready to sell my DSLR for sure now. Do I even need it anymore? But yeah, I've been very impressed with this. But I know, Marty, you're not much of a picture taker. So
yeah, I haven't played much with it. While you were talking, I was trying it on the Air to make sure that I could do that. I don't do a lot of selfies because when I open them up, it scares me. I don't want to remember how I look. So I'm anxious to try this out in group settings with other people around me to see how that works. But I was just playing with the portrait flip and how that did with the image quality of it. And the image quality looks great.
Yeah. This just give you more enticing because since you're the photographer that you are, Eric, that you want to get your hands on one of these?
It's a quandary. So all of the cameras have the new front camera. I really like the Air. It's nice and light. I carried one around a bit today.
Yeah.
And by comparison, all the other phones are really heavy. And it's got the same front camera. I never do selfies, but I might rethink that just to not have to use the other side. So
you carried it around in the Apple store when you were visiting the Apple store, and you couldn't get out the front door.
They really object to the cord cutting move, but other than that, one of the people there had one, so I could wander around with it. That wasn't a store one. Otherwise you're limited by the little short cable. If you pull really, really hard, you can get a little distance away, and then it starts screaming. But the weight on it is just really nice. I am trying really hard to figure out, because a lot of my photography I do with a separate camera. So it's only the immersive photography and the video work where I need the Pro Max. So it's like, well, maybe. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And the Pro Max is still out of stock and will be until mid-October. So I have time to think.
All right. I have a counter to Eric. Mm-hmm. So I went to my favorite secret birding place this weekend, and something screwed up with my long-distance lens. And so I had my phone with me, and in this secret birding place, we had a warbler fallout, and there were suddenly 15 different warblers, and all I had was my phone, and I'm like, 8X. And so I went around, and I 8X'd, and I got pictures, proof of life of a bunch of warblers, and then I got to the very end of the road, and there were over 1,000 grackles in a tree, and I used the video, because they were all squawking, and it was amazing, and I thought, this is awesome. But I'm waiting for the 60X, because bridge cameras are dying, and I don't know what I'm going to buy next. So,
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. The camera's amazing. We'll do more reviews as we get it out in the wild. Start taking more pictures. So, of course, iFixit did the teardown of both the iPhone 17 Pro and the iPhone Air. Overall, it says that there's friendlier repairs. That's a good deal. But it's more screws. It says that they have to take out. So it was about 9 minutes long, the video, and it had an opening tool with the suction, a bit of an alcohol, and the opening pick. The 17 Pro was pried open, revealing the large graphene pad that helps the heat dispensation with the battery, and throughout the process, they said that it uses more screws. It's 14 in total, and adhesive, which could be friendly to repairs, but it's definitely that's a win. So the teardown will also relieve the larger sensors and the rear and front-facing modules. So you'll have to take a look at the video just to take a look at that. But it's good to hear that it's the links in the article in the show notes here. That it is a bit easier to break it down. Same thing goes with the iPhone Air. The Air is not going to be as bad of a teardown. It says it's the thinnest phone, but still very repairable, surprisingly. That it has this. So, and they said the same thing. Just it's just have some good news about this. Despite being incredibly thin, there was an engineering feat, but easy to repair. And then they went through that as well. So, nice to hear this. And you guys get to see these videos. I actually hadn't watched the videos throughout. I don't know if some of you probably don't even probably watch those videos too often, but. Did you guys, anybody here get a chance to look at this? And
not yet, but I will be watching them just as soon as the show is over.
It breaks my heart to tear apart.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always interested in what the stated results are. I seldom watch them because it's not something that I anticipate ever doing unless, and if I ever do, then I'll go and watch them. But
Chuck, you got to watch them because it convinces you not to ever attempt to do this.
Yes.
Well, I've watched some in the past.
Just pay the extra money.
Yeah, that's exactly why I don't do it anymore. It's like, this is not. It's like repairing the plumbing in my house. No, I'm not going to go watch videos. I'm going to call a plumber.
Yeah. So check that out. Marty, I just wanted to hit with you a little bit. You do have the iPhone Air, and you've had it for about a week now. And I want to know where your thoughts are with it so far. Is going to be your full time?
Yeah, I'm taking a trip tomorrow, so I'll take both with me. And I have in preparation, I keep my phones on chargers, and so I bought a separate charger for the Air, and that's the only one I take off the charger. My Pro Max 17 has been on the charger pretty much during the week. I absolutely love the Air. Many of the reasons Eric talked about in terms of its portability, its lightness. The articles that talk about the teardown is just another reason where I feel good about it in terms of how they've constructed it. And the fact that it's the one phone with a titanium frame, I'm not worried about sitting on. Well, I never put it in my back pocket anyways, but I'm not worried about Bendgate or whatever you want to call it, that they were going to say was going to happen with this ultra thin phone. So it's fast. It's easy. I pick it up, take it downstairs, take it to work. And it doesn't feel like I'm carrying around a cinder block anymore.
Okay. That's good. That's good to know. So, that's good to hear. So let's go ahead and move on to a few news stories this week. Some iPhone 17 users are reporting that there's some Wi-Fi and CarPlay connectivity bugs. So they've been hitting Reddit, and they've been hitting the support forums to complaints of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity bugs. This is also leading to CarPlay stability problems with some people. And what they know so far is it's directly affected by users when the 17 briefly drops and then immediately reconnects the Wi-Fi. Every time they unlock their device or the lock screen, the problems extend to Bluetooth on some iPhone users and iPhone crashing. Also, because of Bluetooth having an issue, it does affect CarPlay, which is, and it says is that they're experiencing an issue with the watch on the wrist as well as it's when it's unlocked, which affects wireless CarPlay. So I haven't experienced any of this yet. I've been using my phone with CarPlay. The only experience I've had with CarPlay with an issue is the fact that since my car does not have built-in Wi-Fi for CarPlay, or wireless for CarPlay, excuse me, I would get the third-party dongles we've talked about, and they just were cutting in and out for some reason. So I had to give up and just get a wired cord, and I'm plugging in wired for now. So you suffer when you don't have your phone hooked up. I just can't stand using the car's built-in phone connection. It's like I'm looking back to the 1990s. I know it's a little old, but so. Anybody have any comments about this? About this outages? Obviously, not everybody here has a phone, and I haven't experienced it.
Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
You're muted,
you're
Ben.
Mute.
Yeah, that might help if I'm not muted.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
it was very insightful, whatever you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where
Go ahead,
you can expect a 0.01 release is going to probably show its face sooner rather than later.
Right.
I've been having better connectivity, and I struck it up to my fact that my phone was old and now it's new, and so it's all powered and everything, and so I thought it's been better. But
I used the dongle actually that you suggested, Dave, and I absolutely love it. What I've noticed is my phone is connected to my Wi-Fi at home, and I go into our garage, which is underneath the living part of our home, and I plug it in and I start to go. And when I pull out of the Wi-Fi range of my home, that's when it has to readjust. And somehow that seems to affect it. Not all the time, but I as Ben has said, I think it'll be fixed, but that I would get dropouts I would get dropouts occasionally anyways. So it's hard for me now that I'm paying attention to it to say it's any more or any less than it has been in the past. So.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments about this? All right. There was a comment in the chat from Witherbucket. He says, since I have wired CarPlay, I don't even register my phone to the car Bluetooth because he says he's like Admiral Adams. I am good with the tech I have. Okay, good there.
He'll be protected from the Cylon invasion.
Definitely interesting. Oh. He is. Couple more real quick stories here. The NCAA football teams have started using iPads versus Surface Pros like the NFL does. They're collaborating with Apple to provide its 13 teams in the MAC conference with iPads for video replays during this 2025 season. Coaches have received iPad Pro models with the M4 chip and the iPad Air models with the M3 chip. With DV Sports 360 Rewind app, it's installed for video replay. The app allows the coaches and players to be able to make in-game adjustments on the fly. It says for today's student athletes, the iPad feels second nature, makes it a perfect fit on a college football game days. So it says a trio of other college football conferences already started using iPads for video replay during the 2024 season, which will be the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, following the NCAA rule changes permitting the use of video replay technologies. So, I mean, the NFL's been doing it for quite a while, but of course they use those dreaded Surface Pros. Yeesh. But I love this. I love seeing the fact that Apple is putting a dent in iPads. I'm experiencing it myself at work. I mean, we got a very large amount of iPads that are going out into with our engine in the hands of our engineers. So it's something that's exciting to see. So Ben, what do you think? You're muted again.
Sounds like Microsoft cut back on some sponsorship money here.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, they obviously went to the better product afterwards.
Yeah, for the college football. So who knows? The NFL might fall behind it. Chuck, any thoughts on this? I know this is exciting to see whether that other applications.
Yeah,
Dave,
it occurs to me, sort of flipping around what Ben said. I'm not sure it's a case of Microsoft dropping support. I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the preferences for the coaches and players. At being, at least in theoretically, a little bit younger, that, they're used to Apple devices. They're used to knowing how to use them. And the Surfaces maybe not so much. And that's absolutely pure speculation. And maybe I'm just telling myself what I want to hear. But at the end of the day, it's I think it's great because I think it's a superior device.
Although there's plenty of times watching an NFL football game, watching players when they're mad at how bad they did on a play, they're winging those expensive Surface Pros,
which is appropriate use for the Surfaces. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep. And just because you're telling yourself what you want to hear, Chuck, doesn't mean you're wrong.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I have to tell you. So my old company used to raffle off all the computers, and I won the number one spot. And I had a choice between a MacBook and a Surface, and I got the Surface, and had that for 5 more years.
Yeah, but that was before you were enlightened, Jill.
That was before I was enlightened. But I did have it for 5 more years, and it was great.
I have a Surface. I have a Surface Go and one of the earlier versions of Surface sitting on my shelf, and that's where its function right now. Yeah,
that's where it belongs.
I have a Surface in front of me, and it holds my computer and my phone and my coffee mug and an iPad.
That's
and Marty, that's exactly what the Surface should do. Is go.
Yeah.
Yeah, away.
Sorry, Eric.
All right. 2 more quick stories before we wrap up here. Disney Plus, as we obviously know, Disney itself has been in the news lately with the Jimmy Kimmel debacle, but ironically now Disney Plus, just when they put Jimmy back on the air, Disney Plus announces that they're adding another price hike. So Disney is increasing the Disney Plus cost of a subscription service starting on October 21st. The bundles include Disney Plus, which will also be more expensive, and it was currently got to $9.99 a month, and now it's going up to $11.99 a month. So I'm not going to go through all the numbers here, but with ads, without ads, it's going to go all the way up to. I have the Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max bundle, which is going to go up. Unfortunately, I pay $29.99 a month, but now it's going to be $32.99 a month. But so far, I'm getting a nice $10 credit card perk from American Express that I get a credit. So that's $10 that's off that. So that's not a bad deal for me. But
terrible.
Any thoughts on this for anybody?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Especially when
this is not going to bring them back
for some reason.
Yeah. If I were Bob Iger, I would have called up my Disney Plus. People said maybe wait a month or so.
So I do have that bundle, the Hulu, Disney, HBO bundle. And I also get a credit on American Express. So that took off a little bit. But yeah, ouch, man. I mean, when they're starting to add up a bit.
I just can't figure out what they're thinking. I mean, are they really just testing the market to see where the breaking point is? Because if they hit that break point and people unsubscribe, they're gonna be hard pressed to get them back.
Yeah.
So they did that. They did that with the Disney parks. They kept raising the prices. That's what they said they did. They keep raising the prices until the number of people who show up at the park is appropriate. And now they are having problems getting people into the park. So they went too far.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
I've got a question. Selfish. Can I just get one of these? Can I just purchase Hulu? Because my wife watches Hulu.
Yeah.
And the rest of the stuff I'm ready to dump. Because I get Max Basic or HBO Max, with another account that I have. I get that free as part of it. So I don't need that. ESPN I don't run to as much as I should. Yeah, this article really made me angry, and I was angry last week about it. So this has not helped, and it's sort of like, okay, I am certainly not going to pay that amount for a service that I only use 1/3 of their product, and I don't even use it. My wife does. So
yeah,
exactly.
You can right now.
Myself.
because the Hulu app still exists. That said, there are some pretty strong rumors it'll be going away and folding fully into Disney Plus soon.
Right.
But do they offer Hulu? You just use the Disney Plus app, and
but Hulu's going
just
away.
Hulu as
There's not going to be anything.
Are they doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. They're going to merge Hulu completely into.
It's going to be just
Disney.
One Disney app for everything. I mean, whether Hulu sticks around as a standalone option or is just a secondary extra content tier, that is a big question.
Well, that's the thing. They got all those customers with the live TV, so that's the
that's
the issue.
From what I understand, because of the investment they made, that live TV tier will be going into Fubo.
That's right. That's the whole thing.
But what does Disney Plus have right now that they? I mean, when Marvel was really hot, it made perfect sense to test it. When Star Wars was really hot, it made really perfect sense to test it. Right now, neither one of those are firing on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
And so, whoever said it when we started this conversation, this is really bad timing.
Yeah. Plus, the most important show, and talked about show on there, Alien Earth just ended.
So we could go on for a long time about talking about streaming because it's always a interesting and a great topic. But like I said, sadly, it's inevitable. They're going to start raising all these prices. But bad timing, Disney. Don't what you were thinking. You're going 2 for 2 here on bad timing. So, let's go ahead and wrap up because that's what a great show this was tonight. We had a lot of great discussion and topics, and we'll go ahead and wrap up for this week. So that's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Blue Sky or Mastodon. It's at In Touch with iOS. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so when you're notified when we are live streaming, which is at Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/intouchwithios, where you can watch the current and past live streams as well as listen to past shows. We're also been streaming on Facebook and Facebook Live, as well as been streaming on Twitch. So check us out there, and LinkedIn. So check that out there as well. Go visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the articles we talk about are flipped into that magazine. The links in our show notes. You can listen and subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, which includes Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and Overcast, but many others. But better yet, go to our website, intouchwithios.com, where all the ways to listen to us are linked right there in our website. We also use Ecamm Live for the production of the show, and thanks to Ecamm for having a great product, and appreciate your support. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Blue Sky Mastodon at DaveG65. And let's reverse the order here a little bit. And Ben Roething, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at Ben Roething on your social media of choice. RoethingTech.com for my blog, and as well as certain shows such as Mac Voices Live with some guy named Chuck Joyner, and the Big and Mac shows on the British Tech Network.
British. Thank you, Ben, for being here. Eric Bolden, thank you for being here with your frogs hanging out with you in the background there. Where can people find you?
Well, as soon as I get out of the pool, I can be found on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mes.to. Otherwise, Mondays on Vision Profiles with my VisionOS stuff. Tuesdays on Mac Voices, covering all my macOS. And Thursdays, of course, here on In Touch with iOS, with iOS, iPadOS, and rounding out all of the OSs at the end of the week. So,
absolutely, thank you, Eric. And Marty Jencius, thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Appreciate it as always. And where can people find you?
You can find me Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social, or also on Blue Sky. And rumor has it I've activated my X account again, just because it's where you gotta be.
Just because.
So find me on the socials there with my last name, Jencius. All the projects I do are mentioned on the podtalk.net. Of course, Thursdays here with Dave, Tuesdays with Chuck on Mac Voices, Vision Profiles with Eric and Dave on Monday nights, and a couple of new projects I'm working on I'll just mention coming out in the next week. You should be seeing AI workflow productivity is a productivity workflow. As a new podcast, I've recorded a couple of episodes of that, and I'm going to be working that through the system. And then Fade to Chat, cinema from the golden age of Hollywood, 30s, 40s, 50s, and early 60s. Going to record that first show on Monday and start that in the Flux. So fun stuff happening.
You are a podcast machine, I tell you. Thanks for being here, Marty.
Thanks.
Chuck Joyner, thank you for being here as always, and appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Dave, thanks for having me as always. This is always fun.
Yeah.
MacVoices.com, that's where you'll find everything. The aforementioned Mac Voices live shows on Tuesday nights or in the feeds if you can't make it live because of your time zones or other commitments. And on the socials, you can find me as at Chuck Joyner.
Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, Jill McKinley, it's always a pleasure having you here. Where can people find you?
Thanks. I have a number of podcasts, Start with Small Steps and Buzz, Blossom, and Squeak, which is about nature. And that's why I go out and visit all the birds. And you can find me on Twitter or X, I should do. But anyway, the links are in Dave's show notes. So
thanks so much, Jill. We appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thanks to Chat Room for all being here. We had a blast interacting with them. You can be here again, youtube.com/intouchwithios. You can join us live in the chat. We would love to have you here. But until next time, we'll be back next week. And until next time, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll talk again soon.